Hey friends, Beth here, and I wanted to do a quick video to talk about focus. So, it's obviously 2020. It's been a really hard year for pretty much the world. It's been an interesting year, nonetheless. Um, and I want us to talk about vision and what we're seeing. I love that it's 2020. Maybe you've seen some of the things on Instagram or Facebook where it's like 2020, it's all about getting a clear vision and kind of showing us what we're seeing and all the things that are kind of wrong in the world and how this is an opportunity to fix some of those things. But what I'm also noticing is that what we're focused on, what we are seeing when we look at something, we create more of what we see. We create more of what we are focusing on. And so let me make an example using relationships. So, I've been married to my husband Alex for 12 years. It'll be 13 years in February. Now, obviously, when you marry someone, you soon realize that they're not perfect, that they have some flaws. And they realize the same about you, that all of a sudden you're not perfect either, and that you have some things that they don't necessarily like. So, a lot of times in our relationships, if I were to focus on every little thing that Alex does wrong, if I were to, just see oh, he does this wrong, he's not kind here, he doesn't do this right, I can get really nitpicky and my brain will laser focus on all the little things that I wish were different and all the little ways that my preferences aren't being met, or I can pick out all the qualities I dislike about my relationship with my husband. And it's going to feel terrible. I'm going to feel absolutely miserable. It's going to cause me to have a lot of discord, a lot of hate, a lot of frustration. I'm going to feel disrespected, unloved, all of those things, because my focus is on all of those things. It's on all the things I don't like, all the things I don't want. And what that's going to do is it's going to cause a huge separation. Even if we don't actually separate, it's going to cause a disconnection in my marriage because I'm choosing to focus on the lack, to focus on the things I don't want. And not only is that not very useful in a relationship, it also applies to how we're viewing the world. So the world today, a lot of things have been brought to the surface. And so, we can see a world full of sickness, full of disease. We can see a world full of racism. We can see a world full of hate. We can see a world full of brutality. We can see all of these things. And it's not to say that it's not correct. We can be totally justified. I can be totally justified in my relationship on all the things Alex doesn't do right. It's totally can be totally true. But I want us to just notice that when we focus on those things, rather than it being helpful and we create more of the opposite, we continue to see more of those things. So it might be totally true. You might be totally justified. You might be totally right. But is it what you want to continue seeing more of? And I know, for me personally, this world, there's a lot of things that I don't like. There's a lot of things that I prefer not to be a part of this world. And I can put all of my focus and all of my attention on all of those things. And what it does is it causes me to usually feel hate or disdain or frustration or anger or sorry, my computer just like froze for a second. It can cause me to do all of, like, to actually create within me, like, disorder, disharmony with myself. Like, I want more love in the world, but now I'm feeling hate towards the world. I want more peace in my life. I want more peace in my relationship, but I'm focusing on all the things that create disharmony and create no peace in my relationship. This is where we have to change our focus and be willing to see things differently. And what I love about, like, if you look at Martin Luther King Jr.'s famous speech, right? This is what made this speech so powerful, so beautiful, was he painted a picture for us, not of what the lack of what was happening, but he painted a beautiful picture for the future of what he could see. And so rather than telling us what he was seeing now, like maybe the reality of things, he painted a future of what he wanted to see so that we could all walk into that future together, so that other people could see a future of equality, so that other people could see a future of love, so that other people could see a future of peace. And this is what I believe 2020 is allowing us to do. While we can continue to see a future of death, of sickness, of racism, of war, of anger, of hate, of division, you can when you focus on that, you will continue over and over to see that, and you will perpetuate it. But what if the opposite is also true? What if there is love and peace and joy and harmony and so many wonderful, beautiful, good things too? And the reality is if you open yourself up to look for it, you will begin to find it. And if you can't find it, maybe outside, out here in the world, I'd ask for you to start looking for it within you. What's the vision you have for the future? What picture do you want to paint in the world? And then I would ask you to step into that. So if you want a world where people can be diverse and love one another, then you paint that. You be the vision for that, and you walk into it. You don't have to say, well, this, it's just like if you are playing basketball and you want to be a really good basketball player, but you've never practiced before. So you go out there and you start shooting hoops and you realize you're pretty terrible at it. You don't go, oh, well, I'm terrible, I'm never going to play like professionally. No, you make a decision like, well, I'm going to play until I'm really good. I'm going to keep going until it's different. And you're not looking at where you notice where you're at, but you notice where you're going. You're not looking backwards. You're always looking forward. And so there's my baby. The goal is to always have your focus not on your lack, but on where you're headed, where you want to go. And so with my relationship with Alex, hold on, baby, let me finish this. I like you too. What makes my relationship so beautiful with him is I see all the good. I just feel so blessed that I get to love him, that the way he like treats our children, the way he like helps me out, I notice all of the amazing qualities. And as I continue to focus on the amazing qualities, I feel like I keep noticing more and more amazing things about him.
Hey, Mommy.
And so,
Mommy.
yes,
Your
sweetheart.
phone died, so I
Okay,
can't
go give it to Daddy. Go give it to
I
Daddy.
can't do the party without a flashlight.
Okay, I'll help you in just a second. Anyways, our vision is so important. We have to have the vision of what we want,
What?
not the vision of what is lacking. And the news is going to continue to give you what is lacking. It's going to continue to give you of what isn't happening or what's terrible. And while, yeah, we can go around all day and say, yeah, that's all true. But there's also so much more. Like, there's so much good. I'm like, I brought 5 children into this world. Why would I do that if this place is nothing but doom and gloom? It's because I've experienced real joy here. I've experienced real love here. There's a lot of great things I've experienced. And so, if you want to put your focus in that direction, you're going to experience more of those things. And so, that's kind of what I just want to offer to you today. Really ask yourself, what am I seeing? And if you're seeing all of the lack, all of the hate, just notice the discord that calls within you and don't like dismiss it. Process those feelings, but then really ask yourself, what do I want to see? And ask, like, allow yourself to open up to the good things. Like, if you're seeing a lot of racism, just ask yourself, who's one person who's being really kind and loving? And you'll find people. You will find it. If you begin searching for it, you will find it. And as a life coach, that's what I'm here to do, is I'm here to help you see and understand what you're creating in your life. And if you're seeing a lot of lack, if you're seeing a lot of hate, you're probably creating some of that. Of course, unintentionally, but that's how our brains work. And so my job is to help you begin creating on purpose, creating what you do want, and taking those steps to get there. It can be in relationships, or it can just be with life in general. But you're made to create the life you truly want. You're made to create something beautiful for yourself. You're made to create something beautiful for the world. You just have to be willing to paint a new picture. You have to be willing to tell a new story. You have to be willing to shed some of the old identity and step into a new one. Okay, friends, I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.